Good morning, students. How are you? I believe that you all are studying very hard. So I am C. Ankit Sharma, your income tax faculty, once again welcomes you all in the class, which can be anywhere, any place, anytime. So this is our last class for income tax, and today we will be discussing the numerical questions regarding the computation of total income and tax liability. That is chapter number 9. Very important chapter. It's a last chapter, but I believe that out of this chapter, whatever the question number one, that is compulsory question that's going to be framed in the examination, will be from this chapter. So it is a summary of all the provisions. Generally, we can say all the numerical theoretical provisions summary is chapter number 9. And to understand this chapter more easily, I asked you that please revise salary provision and the basic concept provision. So today we will be discussing test your knowledge questions from question number 1 till question number 15. And these question has been framed by Institute very wonderfully. So please kindly practice this question and the questions which has been asked in the previous attempts. Also go through those questions so you will understand how these kind of questions need to be solved in the examination. So again, Namaskar, Suprabhat, Game Cho, Vanakkam, Sasriyakal, Subha Khair. Uh, Good morning to everyone, and a lot of good morning wishes also been received from Kokinati Balamurali Krishna, good morning. Muhammad Akif, good morning. Parth, good morning. Muhammad Suhail, good morning. Muhammad Akif was saying, thank you, sir, for those wonderful lectures. Sir, you made me to understand the concept easily and have gained lots of knowledge. Thank you so much, Muhammad Akif, for such nice words. Neha, good morning. Swati, good morning. Sankaran, good morning. Ajay, Hemlata, Monica, Komal, Rito, Kadambari, Swati, Hardik, Mukteshwari, Solanki, Anmol, Manohar, Rasmita, Pooja, Girish, Sakshi, Thikshana, Rani, Mamta, Parthestre, Suvasini Ben, Navneet, Krishnan, Reshma, Pratiksha, Barve, Akesh, Vishnu, Kiran, Avinash. So I welcome you again. And before starting this chapter or this class of today, you should have a paper, pen, and a calculator with you. And if you have the study material of chapter number 9, so that will be really easy for you because I'm going to solve the question. And if you have the, so I will going to show you the solution. So if you are having the question with you, so that will be really going you to understand that what exactly provision we are solving over here. So as usual, before starting the class, here is thought for the day. And it says, there will be obstacles. Of course, there will be. There will be doubters. Of course, there will be people who will doubt you, or there will be mistakes also. But with hard work, there are no limits. So it's a very, very beautiful quotation, a very thoughtful quotation, and a very true also. Because in every path where you are going to achieve your goal, there will be obstacles, there will be problems, there will be doubters, there will be person who are going to doubt upon you, and there will be mistakes also. So it's not easy to get success without obstacle, without doubters, and without mistakes. But if you are on the right track, if you are doing the hard work, if you are having patience, focus, then there is no limit. Nobody can stop you. And this has been said by Michael Phillips, Olympic swimmer, who has a world record of, I guess, won 8 medals in a single Olympic. And it's a world record by any athlete. So it does not matter who says these quotations. The matter you believe in it. The matter that yes, these are true. If you will follow these quotations, you will feel that yes, it has been correctly said, and it's actually happen when you follow these kind of things. So do not afraid of obstacles, doubters and mistakes. Believe in yourself. Just put your hard work, your best work, and there will be no limit. You will get your success. Okay. So this is our chapter number 9. We have discussed the provision regarding the old provisions regarding computation of the residential status, then heads of income, then clubbing provisions. These has been already gone through. In the last class, we have discussed all these provisions, then 15 BAC provision, then AMT and the AMT credit concept, etc. The salary computation and projection provisions also we have discussed in last class. Old tax regime, new tax regime, the surcharge concept, the difference of surcharge concept between these two regime, the rebate concept which has been introduced under section 115 BAC. We have discussed that also. Then AMT concept we discussed. That is a very beautiful concept framed by the income tax department to provide you the credit of tax which has been excessively paid by you in comparison to normal tax provision and AMT provision. Then we have discussed the tax planning or tax saving tips. In this tax planning and tax saving tips, I told you that there is no specific provision in respect of these kind of section because it is subjective. It depends upon case to case basis that what is the salary structure and in which scenario which structure will be beneficial to the assessee. So it will be different answer can be in case of different scenario. We cannot say that in every case perquisite is better than allowances or vice versa. It depends upon a specific situation. So for the better understanding of this provisions of salary structure, we are going to discuss two illustration which has been specified in the study material. Okay, so we are starting from illustration number 1. Okay, more good morning wishes from Kiran, Madhav, Harshita, Darshan. Good morning, sir. I am Darshan, your student from previous batch. Yes, I remember you, Darshan. You asked a lot of queries, of course. I am very happy to share with you that I have cleared both the groups, sir. Congratulations, Darshan. Very good. This would not be possible without you, sir, and I got 58 in taxation. Thank you so much. Congratulations once again, Darshan, and thank you for such good words. It means a lot for the faculties. Those are actually putting their efforts to teach all of you. And I guess you should also thanks to the board of study and our institute who actually come with this idea, this beautiful idea, provide the lectures to all of you. So best of luck, Darshan, and I believe that someday we will see each other live. Okay. So good morning, Ruturaj. Good morning, Gopi. So this is a question. It said Mr. A, age 32 years. It's a very simple question. If you have revised the salary provision, then this question is very simple. Mr. A, age 32 years, is employed with XYZ Private Limited on a basic salary of 50,000 per month. He has received transport allowance of 15,000 per month. So this basic salary, 50,000, transport allowance is 15,000. So what is the provisions for transport allowance? Is any exemption available against transport allowance under Income Tax Act? So let's see who is going to answer that. What is the exemption in respect of transport allowance? Very simple question and very simple exemption provisions also. So let's see who is going to answer it. Okay, so basic salary was 50,000, transport allowance is 15,000 per month, and house rent allowance is 20,000 rupees per month from the company. He has paid rent 25,000 per month for accommodation in Delhi. So we have discussed the provisions of house rent allowance also. In respect of house rent allowance, we have to calculate the exemption by out of these three amount. HRA received. Second is rent paid minus 10% of salary. And salary means as per gratuity C case, which include basic salary, DA if as per terms of employment, and percentage commission on sale. Okay. So third is because he is in Delhi. So that means 50% of salary. So out of these three amount, whichever is lowest, that is going to be exempted. We have to calculate it. So anybody send me the answer of, let's see, transport allowance. So no exemption, Pooja is saying, very good. Ruturaj saying yes, disabled person can claim 3,200 rupees per month, correct. No exemption in normal case, correct. Very well done. So there is no exemption in case of transport allowance. If the employee is a physically handicapped, then 3,200 rupees per month can be claimed as transport allowance exemption. Very well done. Sweetie saying 70% or 10,000. No, that's wrong, Sweetie. It is for transport company's employee. But this in this question, Mr. A is not an employee of a transport company. So you are giving the answer in respect of transport allowance if it is allotted to transport company employee. So that is not applicable in this situation. Okay. So Sheel Kumar saying 300 rupees per month. I don't know from where you got this. Okay, correct. Zahid Mokashi, please understand that this is not a question of transport employee. Again, you are also answering the question of 10,000 per month or 70%. That is wrong. In this question, there will be no exemption because it's not a transport employee and not even physically or blind. Okay. Gunjan asking, sir, C case का मतलब क्या होता है? Gunjan, we have discussed in salary topic. In case of gratuity, there is three cases. A, government employee. B, employees covered under gratuity payment of gratuity act, and other employees. So we consider the other employee case, that is C case. And in that case, we took salary means basic salary, DA terms, and percentage commission. Okay. So Mr. A has paid interest 2,10,000 in case of housing loan taken for construction of his house in Mumbai. The construction is completed in March 2024 and his parents live in that house. So one house is a self-occupied house technically. Contribution to PPF is 150, that will form part of 80C. Pension scheme under section 80CCD. So you can claim deduction over there. Payment of medical insurance premium for father who is in age of 65 years. So that is for 80D deduction. You must have gone through in deduction chapter. Payment of medical insurance premium for self and spouse, that is 32,000. That is also part of section 80D. So compute the total income and tax liability of Mr. A in the most beneficial manner. Now listen very carefully because from this year, or we can say from last year, section 115 BAC also comes into the force. So before solving any numerical question for computation of income and tax, kindly read that in which case we have to solve the question. Please always read the end part of the question also. That in that question, in which way you need to solve the question, whether as per section 115 BAC or as per optional portion, which is shifting out of section 115 BAC. That is going to be mentioned in the question, that in which way you need to solve the question. Or it might be saying that solve the question in the most beneficial manner, as we are saying in illustration 1. So if the question says that solve the question in the most beneficial manner, that means you have to solve this question via both mode. And the mode having the lowest tax liability is going to be our correct answer. So please, in all question, you have to find out that by which regime you need to solve the question. Okay. So we can see the solution by a very simple question. So basic salary is 50,000 for 12 months. That means it's 6 lakh rupees. Transport allowance is going to be taxable full. HRA received is 2,40,000. We are solving this question. Now you might be thinking why HR is not exempt, because under default tax regime, we are solving it. And under default tax regime, there is no exemption in case of HRA. We have already gone through with these provision in salary chapter. So full basic salary, full transport allowance, full HRA, standard deduction can be claimed. Standard deduction, we can claim this deduction in case of 115 BAC only. Under income from house property, again, you cannot claim the interest in case of self-occupied property. So that is my GTI. No deduction can be claimed. That is my total income. And the tax liability on 9,70,000 as per 115 BAC will comes 55,500. How? First 3 lakh is exempted. Next 3 lakh is 5%, that means 15,000. Next 3 lakh rate is 10%, that's 30,000. And balance is 70,000 is going to be taxable at 10,500 rupees with the rate of 15%. 4% says, so if we apply 115 BAC in this example, then we have to pay tax of 57,720. Now, if we solve this question as per normal provision of the act, or we can say if we shift opt out from the provisions of 115 BAC, in that case, basic salary, of course, same provision, transport allowance having the same provision, but now we can claim the HRA exemption. So there is 3 points. I have explained you. HRA received 2,40,000, rent paid, and 10% of salary. So in this question, basic salary, DA term, and percentage commission on sale we need to take. There is no DA and no commission specified in the question. So we have to take the 10% of basic salary only. That will come 2,40,000. And 50% of salary will be 3 lakh, because in metro city we have to take 50%. Out of these three, lowest is 2,40,000. So 240 received, 240 exempted. HRA taxable is 0. Now 7,80,000 will be our gross salary. 50,000 standard deduction we can claim in this regime also, of course. Now under income from house property, we can claim the interest deduction. And in the question you see that the interest paid is 2,10,000. It has been given in the question, but we cannot claim more than 2 lakh rupees as interest under income from house property. So maximum loss from income from house property will be 2 lakh. The loss of house property can be set off from the income of salary head. It is allowed as per the set of provision. So now my GTI will be 5,30,000. Now deduction case, we can claim contribution to PPF as 1,50,000, 80 CCD 1B extra 50,000. In case of 80D, we can claim 25,000 for ourselves, and because for the parents we have paid 55,000, but maximum we can claim 50,000 for payment of insurance in case of parents because they are senior citizen. So 75,000 can be claimed in respect of this case. So my TI will be 2,55,000 and there will be no tax because we can claim the rebate upon the tax value. So in both cases, after analyzing the both cases, we can say there will be no tax liability if we opt out of section 115 BAC. So it will be beneficial to the assessee to opt out from section 115 BAC in this case. Clear? Now illustration number 2. Mr. Kadam is entitled to a salary of 40,000 per month. He is given an option by his employer either to take house rent allowance. Now this kind of question can be framed to ask you that which is the better salary structure for the assessee. So we can see that salary is 40,000 per month. He is given an option that either you can claim the house rent allowance, option 1, or you can claim the rent free accommodation, that is option number 2. So that means it is saying that either claim the house rent allowance or take a perquisite. The HRA amount payable was 7,000 per month. If you will take the HRA benefit, you will get 7,000 per month as a house rent allowance, and rent paid will be 6,000 per month at New Delhi. Advise Mr. Kadam whether it would be beneficial for him to avail HRA or rent-free accommodation. And also one more advice they are asking. So advise Mr. Kadam whether it would be beneficial for him to avail HRA or rent-free house. To answer this question, we have to find out his tax liability. In both the case, whether he is claiming HRA or whether he is claiming rent-free house. And the lowest tax liability answer will be correct, of course. But the second advice, what they are asking, that is very interesting. Give your advice on the basis of net take home cash benefit. Now they're also asking that out of these two options, which is more beneficial regarding his cash inflow. That means in which case he will get maximum cash inflow. So answer can be different for those both advices or both consultancy. For tax purpose, your answer can be different, and for cash flow purpose, your answer can be different. So we will see both scenario, how we can claim the benefit or which is the beneficial option in this case. Question is very simple. So we have to solve the question in both ways. Basic salary. I have also taken the printout so we can discuss the question while we seeing the solution. So basic salary in the question is given 40,000 rupees per month. That means for lakh 80,000 in both scenario, there is no difference. Now, suppose we are taking the rent-free accommodation. In case of rent-free accommodation, we are taking 15% of salary, or we can say monetary payments, in which DAS per terms, etc. is going to be included. But in this question, there is only basic salary. So we will take 15% of 4,80,000. That will come 72,000. Clear? In this case, it's not applicable because we are going to claim HRA in one option and rent-free house in second option. Now you can see in case of house rent allowance, if we are claiming house rent allowance, then the house rent allowance is 84,000. Exempt under section 1013A, least of the following. That is 50% of basic salary because he was in Delhi. Actual HRA received and rent paid minus 10% of salary. That will come 24,000. So lowest is 24,000. Taxable HRA is 60,000. So if you will go for rent-free house, then it will be 72,000 taxability. And if we are going in HRA, then the taxability is only 60,000. So in this case, gross salary will be 540, and in this case, 5,52,000. And one more important thing, in this question, the question says that Mr. Kadam exercised the option to shift out of the default tax regime. So there is no section 115 BAC concept we are applying because the question specifically said that do not apply section 115 BAC. So in both cases, you can say if we opt for HRA, then we will have our total income that will be 4,90,000. And if we are applying rent-free house, then the income will be 5,02,000. The tax will be in first case nil because up to 5 lakh there will be a rebate. So the tax liability will be 0. In case second 5,02,000, so there will be not applicability of rebate. Your tax will be 13,416. But we will round it off into the multiple of 10 as we have discussed earlier. So it will be 13,420. So on the basis of tax liability, option 1 is better than option number 2 because in option 1, taking off HRA, there will be no tax liability. Now the second question was, this is important. This is new for all of you because calculation of tax is easy, which we have already done in multiple questions. But how we will find out the maximum cash inflow benefit question? So it says, in both cases, now we need to see in which case we have higher cash flow. So the salary in first case, the cash salary in first case will be 5,64,000. How it came? 4,80,000. And HRA, that is also technically our cash inflow. So HRA was also our cash inflow, which is 84,000 rupees. So technically it's also in cash. So our total cash inflow in first scenario is 5,64,000. But in rent-free house case, because rent-free house is a perquisite, so only basic salary will be treated as your cash inflow. Now, because in HRA case, we have to pay rent also. So that is my cash outflow, 72,000. There is no cash outflow because rent-free house is a facility. You are not getting any cash inflow. You need not to pay anything because employer is going to bear it. The tax in both cases, in this case tax is nil and in this case cash outflow is 13,420. So after deducting the cash outflow in both case, now in first option we will have cash in hand 4,92,000. In the second case we will have cash in hand is 4,66,580. So which is having the higher cash outflow will be our correct choice. So for the purpose of tax we will see lower tax. For the purpose of cash inflow, of course, the higher cash inflow answer will be opted. So I believe that this kind of question should be asked in the examination because it's a different kind of question. Okay. So now we have discussed both the illustration. Now I will solve these test your knowledge question one by one for all of you. Before that, let me see if there's any query. Next is Hardik Samarbhai in Fund 5 deduction is available. Yes, Hardik, under section 115 BAC, standard deduction is available. Yes, you are correct. Harshit sir, in rent allowance, there is statutory update in rate 10%, 7.5 or 5. I'll see to it, but I do not have that kind of provision right now in the study material. Next is if there is any that kind of update which is applicable for your examination, of course, that is going to be inform you. Do not worry. Okay. Next is statutory. Harshid, we have discussed in the leave encashment, the limit is 25 lakh rupees. Kindly watch the lecture we have taken of salary head. We have already discussed that the limit in case of leave encashment is 25 lakh rupees. It is also mentioned in your study material also. Akesh Singh, sir, do anyone can shift from new tax regime to normal tax regime? That we have also discussed in last class, Akesh, that yes, you have the option to shift from 115 BAC into optional and vice versa also. But it is different provision in case of salaried employee and in case of businessman. So you should go through the last lecture. We have discussed that. Next is Ruturaj sir here. What is actual rent paid for calculating HRA is exempted? The exemption will depend upon the HRA provision, Ruturaj. In case the actual rent paid, 10% of salary, etc., need to be considered. And after that, we will find out what exactly is the exemption. गुंजन कुमार 5,02,000 में marginally ले सकते हैं. गुंजन marginally can be claimed only in case where surcharge is there in case of optional tax regime. So there is no marginal leave can be possible in this scenario. How to revise provision? First revise all provision or revise and solve question. You have to revise your chapter wise question and try to solve the chapter wise question also. So if you are revising residential status, then revise that chapter and solve the question related to it. Then as salary, house property, etc. Okay. Next is now question. These questions are very, very important. So we will solve these questions one by one. So first question is, compute the tax liability of Mr. Kashyap, age 35 year. Please, whenever you are going to solve a question, please carefully check the person, resident, non-resident, his age, and of course, in which regime the examiner is asking you to solve the question. So compute the tax liability of Mr. Kashyap, age 35 year, having total income of 51,75,000. And whenever you see a income which is slightly over the limit till which surcharge is not applicable or the rate of surcharge is going to be changed. So in all those cases, kindly carefully apply the provision of margin relief also. That might be applicable in that case. So income has been given 51,75,000 and we know that up to 50 lakh there is no surcharge. So this income is quietly uh, close to the limit of that surcharge applicability. So there can be marginally concept. Assume that his total income comprise of salary income, income from house property and interest on fixed deposit. So there is no income which is having the special rate of tax like 10%, 15% or 20% like casual income 115, 112A, 111A, 112. So there is no such income has been given. Now assume that Mr. Kashyap has exercised the option to shift out of the default tax regime. So you have to calculate the tax for Mr. Kashyap. So the question says that is Mr. Kashyap, Mr. K, having income of 51 lakh and 75,000. Clear? And we need to solve the question assuming that he has shift opt out of this scenario. Fund 5 BAC is not applicable. So I believe that you must have gone through the provision of marginally in chapter number 1. So we have to solve the question applying the marginally concept, and it says first we need to calculate the tax on the income given in question. That is income given in question and the normal tax upon it. So the question has been saying that the income is 51 lakh and 75,000. And if we are going to calculate the tax upon this income, that will come 13 lakh 65,000. Clear? As per normal scenario, up to 2,50,000 exempted. Then rate is 5%, 20% and 30%. Then surcharge will also applicable with the rate of 10% because up to from 50 lakh till 1 crore, the surcharge rate is 10%. So that will be, so my tax liability will be in this situation will be 150,1500. Okay. Now the second step to calculate margin relief is take that income up to which there is no surcharge in the specific case. So up to 50 lakh, there is no surcharge in this case. So now we will calculate the tax on 50 lakh rupees, which will come 13 lakh 12,500. So step 1 will always be this, that you have to calculate the tax on the income which has been given in the question. Clear? We have calculated that tax. Now the step number 2 will be always take that income up to which there is no surcharge or the surcharge rate is going to be changed. So up to 50 lakh, there is no surcharge. So the tax will be 13 lakh 12,500. Step number 3 says now you need to find the difference of both. Difference of income in comparison to difference of tax. So you can see in this case the income has been increased by 1,75,000. The income has been increased from 1,75,000, where tax has been increased by 1,89,000. So marginally will be applicable when tax difference is more than income difference. So is it happening in this example? Yes. The difference of tax is 189 and the difference of income is 1,75,000. So if there is difference of tax exceeding difference of income, then the difference between these two will be called marginal relief. That will be 14,000 in our case. What we will do with this marginal relief? Marginal relief is kind of a discount which need to be deducted. Marginal relief is a kind of a discount which need to be deducted from the new tax liability or from the original total income tax liability, which is this tax liability. So my tax liability on the income given in question was this one, in which we need to deduct this marginally. So now the tax will be 14,87,500. And now we will applicable 4% cess upon it. That will be total after applying cess will be this. So whenever in the question the income is slightly exceeding the limit of surcharge limit or the limit out of after that the surcharge limit also changed, like 1 crore 2 lakh, 1 crore 1 lakh, because after 1 crore the surcharge limit is different, that will be 15%. So solution also given in your study material, but I'm just trying to solve it with you. So you will be able to understand the solution very easily. And you can see I've solved all the question from question number 1 to question number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 15 question I solved, because that will really help me if I'll solve these question with you like on this sheet. And not going to show you the solution in the study material. So that will really going to help you to understand how to solve the question actually. So that was question number 1. Now the question number 2 also related with the margin relief concept. Now question number 2, it says compute the tax liability of Mr. Gupta age 61 year. Now again, whenever there is some age, residential status is different, kindly mark it, because you will remember there is a different kind of provision is applicable. What is the difference? Because for him 3 lakh rupees is exemption in case of optional tax regime. So tax liability of under default tax regime having total income of 1 crore 2 lakh rupees for assessment year 2024-25. Assume that his total income comprised of salary income, house property and interest on fixed deposit. So now question number 2 again, that is also going to be applicability of margin relief in this case. And you can see how. Let me show you. So now default tax regime for question number 2. Whatever the income has been given, you have to write and the tax upon it. So income has been mentioned is 1 crore 2 lakh rupees. The tax on this income, because we are under default tax regime, the tax will be 276,000. And the surcharge rate will be 15% in this case. So that will be 414,000. So total tax will be 31 lakh and 74,000 in this case. Now in step number 2, we need to take that income up to which there is no surcharge or the surcharge rate has been changed. That will be 1 crore, because up to 1 crore, the surcharge is only 10%. So now we will take the tax, that will come 27 lakh rupees. The surcharge will be 10%. The total tax will be 29 lakh and 70,000. Step 3 says find out the difference. So income has been increased by 2 lakh rupees, and in this case my tax has been increased by 2 lakh 4,000 rupees. So excess is 4,000. So that will be my marginally, that is 4,000, which needs to be deducted from the tax liability, which we have calculated on the total income that has been given in the question. So it's a kind of a discount. So if I will deduct 4,000 from this value, that will be 31 lakh and 70,000 plus 4% cess we need to applicable. So that will be 32 lakh 96800. You can calculate it. The solution is also given in the study material. Okay. That was question number 2. Now question number 3. In this case, they are asking, and it's a very important question also because the other income also given in question. Those income having different rates of tax, a special rate of tax. So due to those income, the surcharge rate will be changed. And they asked us to calculate the tax via both region. You can see Mr. Agarwal, age 40 years and a resident in India, has a total income of 4 crore 50 lakh rupees, not exceeding 5 crore. Okay. Comprising capital gain 112 is 55 lakh, short term capital gain 111A 65 lakh, and other income is 3 crore and 30 lakh rupees. Compute his tax liability for 24-25 under the default tax regime. An optional tax regime as per the normal provision of the tax, assuming that the total income and its components are the same in both tax regimes. Now, in this case, we have to solve this question via both regimes, default and normal. So let's solve it. This is going to be a very huge calculation. So total income has been given in question, 4 crore 50 lakh, which comprise as follows. 111A is 65 lakh. So it's having a rate of tax of 15%. Then 112 long-term capital gain, which has been given is 55 lakh. Rate is 20%. And the other, which is going to be solved as per slab rate. That is 3 crore 30 lakh. Now we have to solve it as per 115 BAC and as per normal provision. So this is section 115 BAC and this is normal provision. First of all, we are going to solve it as per section 115 BAC. So we have income 65 lakh, 55 lakh. I have told you that there's only one difference in respect of surcharge in case of normal case and 115 BAC. That in case of 115 BAC, there is no 37% rate. So whether income exceeding 2 crore, it will be remain 25%. Whether it's exceed 5 crore, it will remain 25%. So now you can see the rate of tax on this will be 15% and in this case will be 20%. So that becomes 975,000 and this will come this value. Tax of these income will be 20 lakh and 75,000. So now the surcharge rate will be 15% in this case. Now you can see as per the surcharge provision, our other income, excluding these income exceeding 2 crore rupees. So that is case number 2, option case B. So we have 2 cases in surcharge provision. So I have explained you this was case number 2 and this case having 3 cases, A, B and C. So in this case, case number B is applicable where your other income excluding the special rate of income exceeding 2 crore rupees. So if it happen, then we will charge surcharge rate 15% on special rate of income, that will come 311,250. Total tax of these income will be 238,6250. And on 33 crore and 30 lakh rupees, we will apply the slab rate that says up to 3 lakh there is no tax. Next 3 lakh 5%, then 10%, then 15%, then 20%, then 25%, and then 30%. So that will come 96 lakh rupees. If you calculate tax as per 115 BAC, that will be 96 lakh rupees. Now the question arises, what surcharge rate will be applicable in this case? So I explained you in the surcharge provision that if your other income, excluding these special rate of income, exceed 2 crore rupees, then surcharge will be 25% rate. So the surcharge will be 24 lakh, then total tax will be this is our total tax, that is 14386,250, and now 4% cess. So the tax liability 14961,700 in section 15 BAC. If we will go for normal case, then in normal case, this 65 lakh and this 55 lakh rate of taxability will be same, 15 and 20. So the tax of these two will remain exactly the same, including the surcharge also, 2386250. Clear? That rate, the amount of tax will be same in this case also. Now you will go for the normal tax on 3 crore 30 lakh rupees. The normal tax will be 97 lakh 12500. Surcharge will be 25% because if it exceed 5 crore, then surcharge rate will be 37%. Up to from 2 crore to 5 crore, it will remain 25%. So after applying surcharge, you can calculate by yourself. The tax liability will be, including the tax of all these, we have short of time because we have to solve all the question. So I am taking the solution part, this, then the cess 581075. Now total tax liability will be 15107950. So when we will compare the tax liability of both, then for the purpose of taxation, the 15 BAC provision is beneficial. Okay. Now question number 4, it says your income is 2 crore 30 lakh rupees and you have to solve the question again as per only default optional tax regime, because the question says he is out of the shifting out of the default tax regime. So you can solve it again. This is a simple question. Now we are moving on to question number 5, because now from this question number we will have our full questions, including house property, business income, salary income, tax deduction, etc. So these are more important questions. The question number 1, 2, 3, 4 was basically depending upon the basic concept chapter, that was chapter number 1. Okay, so that was for revision of rate, surcharge, etc. Mansi Gupta is saying, sir, cash flow वाला फिर से बता दीजिए। मानसी, कैश फ्लो में जब हमें कैश फ्लो निकालना है उस क्वेश्चन में, उसमें हमें देखना है कितना कैश हमें मिला दोनों केसेस में। फर्स्ट वाले में सैलरी कैश मिली 480 और एचआरए मिला 84 और हमारे पास से रेंट पेड गया, तो नेट जो हमारे पास कैश आया, टैक्स देना नहीं पड़ा, तो नेट कैश आया वो है 4,92,000। सेकंड वाले में हमें सिर्फ कैश में सैलरी मिली, परक्विजिट इज नॉन मॉनेटरी, सो वो कैश में नहीं आया और उसमें टैक्स भी देना पड़ा हमें 13,420। सो नेट कैश वॉज 466,580। सो पहले वाले में ज्यादा कैश आया, दैट इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन। ओके। Okay? Now question number 6, it says your income is 2 crore 30 lakh rupees and you have to solve the question again as per only default tax regime, because the question says he is out of the shifting out of the default tax regime. So you can calculate by yourself. The tax liability will be, including the tax of all these, we have to solve all the questions. Next is students, if the change is there in rent-free house, I will update a PDF file today. You can, when you are going to download the notes, you will find the surcharge provision there, and I will update the file PDF regarding the clarification also. So you can download that clarification. You will come to know that which rate is going to be applicable in case of May examination. Okay, sorted. Okay, so Sweta Marothi is saying, sir, it will be more helpful if you solve in exam presentable manner. So, Sweta, you can find the exam presentable manner in the solution which has been given by the institute. After these questions, the solution has been given. For all the questions we are solving, here is the specific format what you should follow. You can see that the format has been given for each and every question. So you can see these are the kind of format you have to solve. So if I am going to solve as per the format given in question, so I won't be able to solve all the questions with you in the single session. So for that, we need 2 or 3 more sessions in which we need to draw exactly as we need to solve in the examination. The presentation you can see with the study material, the solution which has been provided by the institute. I am just going to clarify that how to solve the question. Presentation you can see from the solution which has been prescribed. Okay. Next question is Manohar Yadav Sarji question 3 AMT provision not applicable. If you will AMT provision will have applicability if you have section 10 AA deduction 35 AD etc. Even if you try to solve the question with AMT provision, this tax structure will be applicable. This will come higher rate with higher rate of tax. So you can, if you want, you can try it. That won't be applicable in this situation. गुंजन सर इतने सारे प्रोविजन और सेक्शन याद नहीं हो रहे, रिवाइज करते रहिए, याद हो जाएंगे. सब बच्चे ऐसे याद करते हैं. ओके. Vishnu is asking, sir, I am new to lecture. Can I know what major changes in new syllabus comparable to old syllabus? So when you are in the new syllabus, income tax having all the provisions exactly same as was in the last syllabus. There is no change in, yeah, assessment tier has been changed. So the provision in respect of assessment tier has been modified. But the syllabus is exactly the same. There is no much change in the syllabus except that 5 and 10% of exemption part, etc. Focus what we are discussing today. Okay, so question number 5, that is regarding residential status and income from house property provisions also, and tax calculation provisions also. All this in question number 5. So Miss Charlie, an American national. Now in case of residential provision, it's very important to find what is the citizenship. So because Miss Charlie is the citizenship of America, so whenever she will visit to India, then the exception will not be applicable. That means we have to check the both basic condition to find out whether she is in resident in India or a non-resident. The basic condition is more than equal to 182 days in India in previous year, or second condition was more than equal to 60 days in India in previous year plus more than equal to 365 days in 4 preceding previous year in India. Clear? So Miss Charlie, an American national, got married to Mr. Radhe of India. It does not matter. In USA on 2nd March 2023 and came to India for the first time on 16/3/2013. So whenever she came to India, that day also going to be included as stay in India. She left for USA on 19th September 2023. Okay. So from 16th March till 19th September, she was in India. She returned in India again on 27th March 2024. While in India, she purchased a showroom in Mumbai on 30th April, which was leased out on a company on a rent of 25,000 per month from 1st May 2023. She had taken loan from a bank for purchase of this showroom on which bank had charged interest 97,500 She had received the following cash gift from her relative and friends during that time duration. From parents of husband, 51,000. Married sister of her husband, 11,000. They both are relative, relative, relative. Clear? And from very two close friend for this much amount, not relative. So we need to find her relationship status. Okay. And need to calculate the total income. Okay. Need to calculate the tax liability. Okay. For assessment year, if she opt out of the default tax regime. So I asked you, please always check that whether we need to calculate the income as per section 115 BAC or not. So she need to opt out of it. Now we will solve the question, and it's a very simple question. We have to find out the number of days she stayed in India for previous year 23-24. That means from 1st April 23 till 31st March 24. We need to see that how many days she was in India. So from 16th March she came to India, but we need to take the days from 1st of April. So from April 1st, she was in India for full April, then May, then June, then July, then August, until 19th of September. So total number of days she was staying in India was 172 days. Plus, she again came to India on 27th of March. In this financial year, she came to India on 27th of March. So 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31. 5 days also she again in India. So total number of days she stayed in India was 177 days. Total number of days in India was 177 days. Now we need to find whether she is a resident in India or not. So for this purpose, we have to apply the basic condition, which says she must be in India for more than or equal to 182 days. This condition has not been satisfied. Or 60 days in India in previous year. Yes, she was in 60 days in India in previous year. And in last preceding previous year, she has to be in India for at least 365 days. But in the last year, she came on India on 16th of March first time. So in that time duration, she was in India only for 16 days. And before that, she never came to India. So from last 4 years, she is in India only for 16 days. So this condition does not fulfill. So because both condition does not fulfill, she is also not a deemed resident in India in any case. So technically, she is a non-resident. Now, in case of a non-resident, only two incomes are taxable in India, which are arise in India, arise or earn from India, or which is received or deemed to be received in India. Arise, earn, or deemed to arise or earn in India, or received or deemed to be received in India. You must have gone through with this provision in chapter number 2, residential status. So now we only tax those income which has been arised or deemed to arise in India, or which has been received or deemed to be received in India. So now she, because purchased a showroom in Mumbai and earning 25,000 rupees per month. So if we will calculate her income from house property, then you can see from 1st of May, she let out that property from 1st of May. That means 11 months in the financial year. So the rental income, the gross annual value will be 2,75,000. 30% deduction, standard deduction in case of house property. This will become my annual value. 30% is 82,500. Less interest is 97,500. So technically his income from house property will come 95,000. Now income from other source. Two gifts has been received from the relative. So that is not going to be taxable because gift received from relative is exempted. But these two gifts is going to be taxable. That is 1,51,000 and 21,000. So income will be 2,67,000. No deduction. This is my GTI. This is my TI also. Clear? So now tax on 2,67,000 up to 2,50,000 free. The balance is going to be taxable at the rate of 5%. That is 17,000 is going to be taxable at 5%. That is 850. 4% cess 34. 884, or round off, if we'll do it multiple of rupees, it will be 880. There is no rebate has been given. Why? Because she is a non-resident. So non-resident cannot claim the rebate. Clear? So you can, of course, see the solution. Now the second part says, would her residential status undergo any change, assuming that she is a person of Indian origin and her total income from Indian sources 18 lakh? For getting the benefit of 120 days etc. provision. Because now we need to see whether she is fulfilling the other condition also, in which if you have income from Indian source, then you can be a resident. If you fulfill the condition of 120 days in previous year and 365 days in 4 preceding previous year. Again, she is not fulfilling it also. So still she will be a non-resident again in the same case. So there will be no change in the answer. She will still be remain the non-resident. Next is question number 6. Now this is kind of a question which is comprised of PGBP etc. most of the provision. So Dr. Niranjan, a resident individual aged 60 years, is running a clinic in Surat. Her income and expenditure account for the year ending March 31, 2024 is as under, in which the income and expenditure has been given. So we have to find the income as per the income tax provision. So now you can see out of this question, first of all, we have to take the net profit as per accounting provision. Then we have to deduct and add back the income which should not be the part of your PGBP, has to be deducted. The expenses which what those are disallowed as per income tax have to be added back. And after doing that, we will find our profit as per income tax provision. So consultation and medical charges will remain as income, no issue. Okay. Income tax refund principal 5,000, interest is 450. This need to be reduced. I will solve the question. I'm just marking it for you. Dividend income from other source part, winning from game show, TV, net of TDS, other source part, rent income from house property. So these all need to be deducted. Clear? Medicine consumed as an expenditure allowed. Staff salary, expenses, clinical consumable expenses, rent paid expenses, administrative expenses, amount paid to Scientific Research Association, section 35. It is allowed as expenditure. But if the question asks as per section 115 BAC, in section 115 BAC, you cannot claim the deduction. So we will see how we need to solve it. Net profit comes this. Rent paid includes 30,000 paid by check toward rent for her residential house. So rent paid was 90,000, but 30,000 related to his personal expenditure. So that needs to be added back. Clinical equipments, we have to find out the depreciation on it. So 15% dep rate on this. And this is in December, less than 180 days. So 7.5%. Rent received relates to residential house property situated in the gross annual value 27,000. This is for income from house property information given. This is salary information also given. She is also earning salary income. Loan has been taken for higher education of her daughter. That is for section 80E, which is for deduction in case of loan in respect of education loan. 1 lakh paid as a tuition fees. That is section 80C. Amount of 28,000 has been paid for medical insurance. That is section 80D deduction. The question says from the above compute the total income of Dr. So and so. That means we need not to calculate the tax under the default tax regime and optional tax regime. So we need to calculate the income under both tax regime. Now it's a very important thing. Sometimes in examination, on when you solve a question, the question is only asking regarding the gross total income. Suppose gross total income. But students technically solve the question after allowing the deduction under section 80C also, which is not asked by the question. They calculate the gross total income and also deduct the deductions and find out the total income. So if you will do this, if the question asked only the gross total income and you are applying deductions and solve gross total income and total income also, you are not going to get any extra marks. You need to stop at just gross total income. Even when you know that what deduction you need to give, do not give those deduction. In the same way, in this question, the question only asks for total income. So do not calculate tax. Don't be that over smart. Do not calculate the tax. Just calculate the total income and that's it. So please do not calculate tax. That's what I am saying. Please read the what is the requirement of the question. If you are solving the question further without even asked by the question, so that is going to be in the you can say in your wrong direction. That will be your that is not a good impression on the examiner because they were thinking that you are not reading the question properly. Just solve what has been asked in the question. You are putting your extra time in solving tax, etc. Anyway, you're not going to get the marks also for that, and it will going to be have a bad impression upon the examiner because they assume that you are not reading the question properly. Okay, so we will solve only total income under the both regime in this case. So let's solve this. That is question number 6. First of all, under default tax regime, 115 BAC. So format you can see from the study material. Let me show you the solution part. Okay. So net profit that has been given in question 440,400. I have solved all the question for you. The income tax refund was given in the credit side. We have to deduct it. That is 5450. Then dividend. That is not also part of my business income. 10,500. Then there was a casual income, lottery winning, etc. 35,000. And rental income also was there. That was 27,000. Then rent paid includes that has been paid for his residential house that is going to be disallowed. Then we need to find the depreciation from the information given that is 15% and 7.5% on the asset value which has been given that will be 75,000 and 15,000. Then the municipal taxes of house that cannot be claimed under PGBP need to be disallowed. And because section 35 scientific research deduction has not been allowed section 15 BAC, so it need to be add back also. So my net profit business purpose will be 545450. This is net profit as per income tax. But because we need to calculate the total income, so there is more income also. Now we need to calculate the salary income. Salary was 7,500 rupees per month, that is 90,000. Standard deduction will be 50,000. So salary taxable is 40,000. Then income from house property, rent was 27,000. Municipal tax was 2,000. So annual value will be 25,000. 30% standard deduction, so that will be 7,500. Balance is my house property income, 17,500. Now income from other source, that is income tax refund, only interest part is going to be taxable, not the full value. The interest part was 450. Dividend is going to be taxable full value. And casual income was 35,000, but the TDS has been deducted 15,000. It has been given gross and net. So total casual income is 50,000. That is 60,000 and 950. So that is my GTI. Adding this, and this. All these four income, that will come 5,72,900. No deduction can be claimed in section 15 BAC as specified in above. No 8TC, no 8T is allowed. So that is my total income also. Now, as per normal provision, if we'll go, so you might thinking we have to calculate everything again. No, maximum things are exactly the same. Like we have to calculate the PGBP. So what is the difference between this PGBP income and this? Only this section 35 deduction was different. Everything else is same. This is not applicable in case of 15 BAC, but this is applicable in normal case. So we can solve it like this: 454,450. Under section 35 deduction is allowed in normal case. So we need to deduct it. We will have our PGBP income as normal case 304450. House salary will be remain same, that is 40,000. House property income will remain same, that is 17,500. Income from other source same, 60950. So 422,900. You can also do this, that you can deduct out of this GTI. You can directly deduct 1,50,000, which has not been claimed in 15 BAC but can claim in normal case. So you can find this GTI like this also. So that is being prescribed as per study material. You can also apply this case, or you can apply this case also. So now this is 4,22,900 is GTI. But deductions are there under normal provision. 80C tuition fees 1 lakh rupees. 80D 28,000. Medical insurance premium, and 80E is higher education loan, that is 55,000. So TI will be 239900. So now you can see this is the better option in comparison to section 115 BAC. So now question number 7. I guess 5 is clear. Let me see if there's any query. Question number 5, total income not calculated. Kindly calculate it. I have already solved the question. I will calculate. We have solved the question of question number 5. Total income was 2,67,000. We have calculated that, Srinivasan. Ms. Vaishali Bindal, what question you are asking is not under this chapter we can discuss. We have already discussed under salary heading. Under salary head, the 250 and 5 lakh limit on employer and employed only employee contribution, the interest above contribution interest head in salary is taxable in salary head. So you should ask this question under salary head. I will explain this if we will have time in our this session. I will explain your question answer. Okay. Screenshot lena hai. Question number 6. The solution has been given. If you want to take the screenshot, we are on YouTube. You can scroll back the video and you can pause it and you can take the screenshot. Okay, so question number 7, that is Miss Purvi, age 55 year, is a chartered accountant. Wow, very nice. And 55 year. She maintains her accounts on cash basis. Okay. Her income and expenditure has been given as under. Now, the income expenditure, we can see fees earned is a part of our income, business income, taxation services part, of course, consultancy also, dividend, it will income from other source. So we will reduce it, of course. Income from UTI, other source income, reduce. This is again income from other source, honorarium receipt from various institution for valuation of answer papers. Rent received, income from house property, reduce. From debit side, salary to staff, okay. Stipend, okay. Incentive, okay. Office rent, okay. Printing stationery, okay. Meeting, seminar and conferences, okay. Purchase of car, we need to find the depreciation. Repair maintenance, okay. Traveling is okay. Municipal taxes paid for the house let out, not okay. Add back. We have other deductions also in this case. Allowable rate of depreciation has been given. Okay. Value of benefit received from client. That is a part of business income. Incentive to article assistant represent amount paid to article for passing C intermediate allowed. Okay. Repair and maintenance of car include 2000 from which has been paid in advance from 1st October till 30th of September because we are maintaining cash system of accounting. So whatever has been paid during the previous year will be allowed as an expenditure, whether it is not belong to your time duration, because this is some part of this expenditure from 1st April 2004 till September 4, almost 6 months. But we will consider full amount as the expenditure of our current previous year because we are maintaining cash system of accounting. Okay, salary includes 30,000 to a computer specialist in cash. So we cannot pay more than 10,000 in cash. So that is going to be disallowed add back. Traveling expenditure as per RBI norm. Okay, medical insurance premium on health of dependent brother and major son dependent on her amount of 5,000 and 10,000 paid in cash. So dependent brother is not a relative, so that cannot be claimed. And cash expenditure of medical expenditure not allowed. So again, that cannot be claimed. Incentive, this is 80C deduction. 70,000 advance tax, that's advance tax. We will deduct it from the tax liability. So now it's a compute the total income and tax payable in a most beneficial manner. Now this is a problem because now we have to solve it again under both regime. We have to calculate the income under both regime. We have to calculate the tax of both regime. Then we can answer which is more beneficial to it. So let's discuss it. Question number 7, I guess this is. So first of all, we are going to solve this question as per default tax regime. Under default tax regime, the net profit has been given. That is 928,224. Dividend need to be deducted 10,524. UTI income from other source 7,600. Royalty or honorarium received for the articles published, that is 15,800. Then rent, that will be income from house property 85,600. Car purchase, so we cannot claim the purchase of car as expenditure. We have to claim the depreciation on it. So the value of car need to be add back, that is 80,000. Then the, I guess, municipal taxes, that is 3,000. Now we will claim the car depreciation, 15%. That is going to be reduced. Then benefit from clients. That is going to be the part of income which has not been included earlier. Then salary paid in cash is going to be disallowed as an expenditure. That is 30,000. So that will be 920,200. Clear? Now income from house property, 85,600 has been given in question. No other information except municipal tax, that is going to be reduced 3,000. 82,600. 30% deduction, that is 24,780. Balance will be income from house property, 57,820. Clear? Now income from other source. Once you are able to solve the question as per 15 BAC, then the other regime solution is very simple because most of the things are almost same. The deductions part is different, etc. That will be 10524, 7,600 and 15,800. So other source income will be 33924. So my GTI will be in this case 1011944. Then deduction will be nil. TI will be 1011944. We are going to round it off in the multiple of 10, 1011940. Now the tax as per 115 BAC provision will come 61791. Up to 3 lakh exempted, then 3 lakh is 5%, then 10%, and the balance amount. The cess will be 2472. That will come 64263. We have paid advance tax also already, that is 70,000. So the balance will be, and one more important thing, there is advance tax, there is TDS also. On dividend, the TDS has been paid. On UTI, this is for UTI, this is for dividend, 10% rate, 1052. You must have gone through the provision of TDS in respect of in chapter number 7. Clear? So total tax has been paid 70th on advance tax, 760 is TDS on UTIs, and dividend TDS is 1052. So remaining will be 7549. That is your refund, which will be round off to the multiple of rupees. That will be 7550. So that is our refund. So we need not to pay anything. We will receive this amount from the income tax department as refund when you will file your income tax return. That was default tax regime under normal. PGBP scenario will be the same. There is no change. 920,200. Income from house property again same. 15 BAC change in the house property is only when the property is self-occupied and the interest has been paid. Otherwise, it will remain the same provision. Other source having no difference. So my GTI will be exactly same. Now deduction part came into the force. Medical insurance we cannot claim because dependent was not relative and the payment has been made in cash. Now NSC deduction under section 8TC can be claimed, that is 10,000 rupees. So my TI will be 1001944, which will be rounded off to 1001940, on which tax including cess will come 117605. Advance tax 70,000, TDS 1052 and 760. So that will be my tax liability 45793, or round off to 45790. So which is beneficial, whether to pay tax 45,000 or to receive the refund of 7550. So this is my best option case number 1, that is applying the default tax regime. That was question number 7 we just discussed. Now moving on to question number 8. Okay. Avinash Patil is asking, principal paid for education loan should be including in 80C deduction? No, we cannot include. As per section 80E, we can only claim the interest part in case of any education loan which has been taken by the assessee. The principal part of only housing loan is allowed under section 80C's deduction. So if you are taking a housing loan for which you are taking deduction under income from house property for the interest part, so only that loan for which the interest has been claimed under income from house property, the principal part can claim under section 80C as the deduction. Okay. Mr. Ninad Desai asking, sir, if a doctor is working in a private hospital, okay, and receiving salary, can we make it his professional asset so that it is covered in PGBP? No. If you are receiving salary from anywhere, that is going to be taxable as your salary income. So that cannot be treated as his business income. That is going to be taxable as his salary income. Okay. Next question number 8. Mr. Y carries his own business. An analysis of his trading and profit and loss account for the current year explain the following things. Net profit is 11,20,000. Okay. The following incomes were created in the profit and loss account. This is 22,000 UTI income. Need to be income from the source deducted. Interest on debenture deducted. Winning from horse race need to be deducted. Okay. It was found that stocks were omitted to be included in the both the opening and closing stock. So assessee has omitted to write it down. Opening stock 8,000 value. He just omitted. He just forgot to write it in the financials, and closing stock 12,000 value. So if we will increase the opening stock by 8,000, that means what will be the impact on the profit? Okay, let's see. Who will tell me? If I'll increase the opening stock by 8,000, so by this 8,000 amount, do I need to increase my profit or reduce my profit, which has been given 11,20,000? When I'll solve this question, then if I need to add 8,000 rupees opening stock, the value in opening stock, and I need to add the closing stock value by 12,000, what will be the impact of these increment in the profit? Kindly tell me. If the opening stock has been increased by 8,000, what it will impact on my profit? And if I increase 12,000 in my closing stock, how this is going to impact my profit? Is it going to add my profit or going to be reduced from my profit? Tell me the answer. I am waiting. I want to see you are awake or sleeping. Gaurav Gupta is saying profit increased by 4,000. You are actually giving the net effect of it. Okay, not bad, good. But in my opinion, kindly in the examination, do not do this shortcut. You should not increase the profit by 4,000. You have to show what is the impact of opening stock and what is the impact of closing stock. Okay. So if I'll increase my opening stock by 8,000, then it will reduce my profit by 8,000. And when I'll increase my closing stock by 12,000, it will. So this impact will reduce my profit. This impact will increase my profit. Okay. Increase in opening stock, reduce profit, in closing stock, increase. Very good. Thoti Jagapati. Okay. Decrease of profit by 4,000. Madhav Tiwari. What are you writing, Madhav? Decrease profit because income increase 4,000. What does this mean? So with the increment in opening stock, profit will be reduced by 8,000, and with the increment in closing stock, profit will add or increased by 12,000. So net effect will be profit will increase by 4,000. Okay, good. Okay. Then 1 lakh was debited in the profit and loss account being contribution to a university approved under notified section 35. So again, this is scientific research provision, 1 lakh rupees. Salary includes 20,000 paid to his brother, which is unreasonable, 25,000. This need to be add back. Advertisement expenditure includes 15 gift packets of dry fruits costing 1,000 per pocket presented to important customer. Allowed as expenditure. Car expenses was 78,000. The car was used both for business and for personal. 3/4 for business purpose. So 1/4 is for personal need to be add back. All the expenditure related to car like depreciation, repair, 1/4 need to be add back. Miscellaneous expenditure include 30,000 paid to A and company, a goods transport company in cash. So in cash, we cannot pay more than 10,000. But if it is a transport company is the pay, then the limit is 35,000. So this is allowed. Depreciation as per books was 55,000. As per income tax is 50,000. Drawing 10,000 debited in the books. Need to add back. Investment in NSC 8TC. So you have to compute the total income only, not the tax. As per optional tax regime, not under the default tax regime. So let's calculate it. Simple question. Let me solve it. 11,20,000. Then other source income is 22,000. 17,500. 15,000. And opening stock effect is reduce the profit by 8,000. Closing stock impact is 12,000. Salary unreasonable 2,500. Car depreciation 1/4 and expenditure need to be added back. Depreciation as per accounting provision 55,000. Depreciation as per income tax provision is 50,000. Drawing 10,000. A simple question, so I am solving it quite in speed. So that will be my PGBP income 1121,500. Income from other source, 3 incomes were there, 22,000, 7,500 and 15,000. So that will be 54,500. Add back, that is my GTI 1176,000. Deduction of NSC, that is 15,000. That means 11,061. Sorry, 11,61,000 my total income. So it's a very simple question, just like the previous question we saw. So I just solved it in a very fast manner. Now question number 9. Now this is a different question. So we have left with question number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 7 questions. So I'll try to solve those questions having some different kind of provision, like question number 9 is having set of provision. So we will discuss and solve question number 9 first. Then question number 10. Yes, it's a good question. We will solve it again. 9 and 10. Then question number 11, I've solved it. It's a simple question. So we will skip it. We will see if we will have left with time. I will solve it for you. Not an issue, because the salary question, there is nothing complicated. Salary and house property. Question number after 11, question number 12. It's a salary question. We will solve it. Question number 13 is very simple. It's a gratuity calculation sort of. I will not going to solve in detail, but I'll let you know how to solve it. Question number 14, it's a very important question, of course. And the question number 15, that is with MAT also. So I wanted to solve a question having the mat provision. So when we will come back, we will try to solve these questions. And if we will have time, then we will solve question 11 also and question number, whatever question I have left with us. Okay. So I guess now it's time for a break. And after break, when we will resume, then we'll going to solve some further questions and we will have a short story also for all of you. And today, before ending the class, I have a short, small poem also, 4 lines poem, what I always tell in my batch, in my closing class. So this is our last class. So I will definitely going to share that poem with you also. So Manish, can we go for a break? Welcome back, everyone. So, as usual, I always say that you must have your tea, coffee, and your energy back to study further. And we were discussing the question, and I guess last question we discussed, that is question number, let me see once. Question number till 8 we have discussed, and we will start from question number 9. So, of course, before the question, there is a very short story that might help you in your this journey. So story is like this, and of course it will be in Hindi as always. So स्टोरी कुछ ऐसी है कि एक गांव था। हमेशा एक गांव ही होता है। उसमें एक किसान था और उसका एक बड़ा सा खेत था जहां वो काम करता था। तो एक बार जब वो अपना खेत में वर्क कर रहा था, अपना ट्रैक्टर चला रहा था, तो रास्ते में एक बहुत बड़ा पत्थर उसके खेत के बीच में आके उसने ध्यान से देखा कि रखा हुआ है। उस जगह पर उसने पहली बार फार्मिंग करना शुरू की थी। Other part of the his agricultural land. So when he was driving his tractor, so he found a very big rock in between his path. So उसने क्या किया, उसने सोचा कि मैं इस बहुत बड़े पत्थर को तो हटा नहीं पाऊंगा, सो इसको यहीं पे रहने देते हैं और इस जगह पर जो जिस रास्ते में ये पड़ा है उस रास्ते पे फार्मिंग नहीं करेंगे, बाकी आसपास बाकी जगह कर लेते। तो उसने ऐसे ही किया। उस जगह पे फार्मिंग नहीं करी, उस स्टोन को, उस रॉक को जो वहां रखा था उसे वहीं छोड़कर आसपास फार्मिंग करना शुरू कर। 1 साल हुआ, 2 साल हुआ। अब जहां वो रॉक था वहां आसपास धीरे धीरे कर कर जो गड्ढा था जहां वो रखा हुआ था वो और ज्यादा बड़ा होता गया। तो नेक्स्ट ईयर उसने जब फिर से ट्रैक्टर चलाया तो वो जो रॉक वाला एरिया था वो और बड़ा हो गया। एंड उससे फिर प्रॉब्लम ये हुई कि उसको और ज्यादा जगह छोड़नी पड़ी फार्मिंग करने के लिए। इसी तरह अगले साल वो गड्ढा और बड़ा होता जा रहा था और वो हर बार उस जगह को और ज्यादा छोड़ता था, उस एरिया पे फार्मिंग नहीं करता। देन एक 4-5 साल बाद उसे रियलाइज हुआ कि अब तो ये एरिया इतना ज्यादा मेरा खराब है कि अगर मैंने अब यहाँ फार्मिंग नहीं करी तो एक बहुत बड़ा एरिया मुझे छोड़ना पड़ेगा फार्मिंग से, और उसको काफी नुकसान हो। तो उसने कहा अब ये पत्थर मेरे से तो हटेगा नहीं, तो एक काम करते हैं, चलो सब लोगों को बुला कर लाता हूँ। तो उसने बहुत रिक्वेस्ट करी लोगों से, अपने गांव के जो भी उसके दोस्त थे एटसेट्रा, उन सबके पास गया कि मेरे जो एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड है वहां पर एक बहुत बड़ा रॉक है और उसे हटाने में आपकी हेल्प चाहिए। तो बहुत सारे लोगों को बहुत रिक्वेस्ट करके वो लेकर आया। तो सब लोग, उन्हें देखा वो रॉक था, सब डिस्कस कर रहे थे उसके साथ कि इसे कैसे हटाएंगे, क्या तरीका होना चाहिए, क्या इक्विपमेंट्स होने चाहिए, क्या मशीनरी होनी चाहिए, एटसेट्रा। तो उन्हीं सारे दोस्तों में से एक उसका दोस्त था और उसके पास एक बड़ा सा हैमर था। वो ऐसे ही गया और उसने उस हैमर को एक बार जोर से उस रॉक पे मारा और वो रॉक पूरा टूट गया, क्योंकि अंदर से हॉलो था, खोखला था। बट किसी ने जज ही नहीं करा। तो उसने एक ताकत से हैमर मारा और वो आसानी से टूट गया और छोटे टुकड़े में हो गया, मतलब उसे अब इजीली रिमूव कर सकते थे। बट उस चीज को कभी उस फार्मर ने ट्राई नहीं किया। ही वॉज थिंकिंग कि ये बहुत बड़ा रॉक है और मैं इसे नहीं हटा सकता, तो मुझे लोगों की हेल्प चाहिए और मैं तब हटाऊंगा जब मुझे लगेगा कि इसके बिना काम नहीं चल रहा। तो वो जो प्रॉब्लम थी उसने उसे कभी सॉल्व करने की कोशिश ही नहीं करी। और वो उतनी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम थी नहीं, बिकॉज एक दूसरे पर्सन ने आके सिर्फ एक हैमर मारा और वो टूट गई। और अगर वो ये 10 साल पहले करता तो वो भी उसको हटा सकता था। बट ही नेवर ट्राइड फॉर इट, बिकॉज उसके दिमाग में इमेजिनेशन थी कि ये तो मुझसे हो ही नहीं सकता। सो कोई भी प्रॉब्लम तब तक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है जब तक आप उसे ट्राई नहीं करेंगे, जब तक आप सोचते रहेंगे। अगर कोई चैप्टर है आपकी बुक में किसी भी सब्जेक्ट में, इफ यू थिंक दैट ये मुझसे नहीं होगा, ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, इसको छोड़ देते हैं या किसी और की हेल्प लेंगे। एटलीस्ट ट्राई इट। अगर थियोरेटिकल सब्जेक्ट है, आपको लगता है थियोरेटिकल मुझसे नहीं हो पा, तो एटलीस्ट ट्राई इट। गिव योर बेस्ट शॉट, क्या पता हो जाएगा। और एनीथिंग इज पॉसिबल, एनीथिंग इज पॉसिबल। सो बी जस्ट कॉन्फिडेंट अपॉन योर सेल्फ, नेवर लूज योर कॉन्फिडेंस, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो अगर वो फार्मर बहुत साल पहले भी कोशिश तो करता तो शायद उसे इतने साल तक नुकसान नहीं उठाना पड़ता। तो इन द सेम वे, प्लीज बी कॉन्फिडेंट। अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करो। एग्जाम से भी मत डरो, पढ़ाई से भी मत डरो, जस्ट गिव योर बेस्ट शॉट। focus करो, पढ़ाई करो, anything can be solved. And be like a Pluto. Pluto it was a planet. There's a concept called, that is a theory of Pluto. I have heard it somewhere, and it was very interesting. What was the story of Pluto? The theory of Pluto is like this. So we have a solar system. We have 9 planets. The Pluto was the longest distance planet in our solar system. So earlier it was 9 planet in our solar system. But what happened? The Pluto was running in an orbit around the sun, and at point of time it goes out of our solar system. So now Pluto is out of our solar system. So what happened? The scientists decided that now it is not in the orbit which we consider as our solar system. So now Pluto will not be considered as a planet. Now it will be a dwarf planet. So it will not be a normal planet now. So they decided that Pluto is not a part of our solar system planet system. So does it affect Pluto? What is happening? Pluto is still doing what it was doing earlier. It does not affected by the scientists. What scientists said, साइंटिस्ट क्या कहते हैं प्लूटो के बारे में कि प्लूटो प्लैनेट नहीं है, अब वो प्लैनेट ऑर्बिट से हमारे बाहर हो गया है, लेकिन प्लूटो इज स्टिल रनिंग, ही इज डूइंग हिज वर्क. उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि साइंटिस्ट क्या कहते हैं, वो अपना काम अपने हिसाब से कर रहा है. सो आपके रिलेटिव्स आपके बारे में क्या कहते हैं, क्या सोचते हैं कि आप ये सीए नहीं कर सकते, आपकी पढ़ाई नहीं हो सकती, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते, लीव इट. जस्ट डू योर ओन वर्क. अपना काम करते रहो शांति से, एंड योर सक्सेस विल स्पीक वन डे टू ऑल ऑफ देम. So do not get affected. Nobody is there to tell you what you can do or you can't do. Only the one person will decide in your life that what you can do or what you can't do, and that is you. So never give this opportunity to someone else, because होता क्या है, रिलेटिव एक बार आपको बोल के चले जाते हैं कि अरे तुम्हारा सीए नहीं होगा, और फिर हम उसे सोचते रहते हैं उस बात को कंटिन्यूसली दिनों तक कि उसने तो कहा नहीं हो सकता. अब जिसने कहा उसको तो ये भी नहीं पता कि हमारे सीए में सब्जेक्ट कितने होते हैं, हमारे किस सब्जेक्ट में कितने मार्क्स का कौन सा पार्ट आता है. तो जब इफ somebody is telling you that you can't do this, तो if he is not done this subject or this course earlier, how can somebody else can tell you. हम उससे अफेक्टेड हो जाते हैं और कई दिनों तक सोचते रहते हैं कि अब ये नहीं हो सकता. इफ somebody is not able to clear, if you are not clear your group, और कोई हमें बोल देता रिलेटिव के तुम फेल हो गए, तुम्हारा नहीं हो सकता, हम उसके 1 मिनट के सेंटेंस से अपने घंटों खराब करते हैं, अपने आवर्स, अपने डेज. उसको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो एक बार बोल के चला जाता है, दैट्स इट. उसको फर्क ही नहीं है, उसको पता भी नहीं है कि आप किस चीज को कर रहे हैं. सो बी लाइक प्लूटो, forget about everything, just do what you believe you can do, and I know you can do anything. So let's move on to our next question, that is question number 9. And it says, like Mr. Aman is asking, sir पीजीबीपी ना करे तो चलेगा? अरे क्यों नहीं करेंगे, पीजीबीपी करना पड़ेगा. पीजीबीपी इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर, एंड एवरी चैप्टर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो सारे चैप्टर्स करने, डू नॉट even think to go for selected study. You have to do each and every chapter. That will help you, of course, in the examination. So please do not think that you need to, or you're going to leave any topic. No. Okay. Question number 9 is, Bala Murugan furnished the following information for the year ended. Income from textile business is given in question. Income from house property. So income from textile business having a loss. Income from house property is also having a loss. Lottery winning gross 5 lakh. Speculation business 1 lakh profit. Income by way of salary computed, that is 2,70,000. Computed means after standard deduction and everything. Okay. Long term capital gain 112. Compute is total income tax liability and advance tax obligation under default tax regime under section 15 BAC. So we have to apply section 115 BAC only. 115 BAC does not allow house property losses to set off from any other head. In normal case, you can set off house property losses from salary head, from business head, etc. Under 115 BAC, it is not allowed. You must have gone through the provision regarding this. Advanced tax obligation provision we are not going to discuss because you have gone through the provision in chapter number 7. So we are solving the total income and tax liability scenario in this question. Okay. So whenever there is a set of question has been given, let me show you a trick to solve these kind of question very easily. Bifurcate your income in these category like PGBP, and we have three kind of losses. We can have three kind of losses under PGBP head. We can have only 7 types of losses under set of chapters. So I have divided those losses on the basis of losses category. So whatever I have my income, I will divide into 7 categories to apply the set of provision. One is speculative business, special provision, section 35 AD business having special provision, and other business. We have to solve this question as per 115 BAC. Okay. Then we can have income from house property, then salary, then capital gain. We cannot have losses in the head of salary. We can have the loss in the head of house property. We can have 3 losses in PGBP. Fourth is income from house property. Capital gain, we can have 2 kind of losses, long term and short term. And then income from other sources. 3 kind of income. Casual income cannot have losses. Losses of having, owning and maintaining race horses. That can be a part of losses, and other income from other sources. So technically we have 3 kind of losses over here, one over here, and one over here. 7 types of losses can be there. So now you should read the question and just put the value, whatever has been given in the question, and you will have your solution after applying or after putting the value only in this format. Like in the question, speculative business profit has been given, that is 1 lakh rupees. So I have put this value over here, and there is no 35 AD provision has been given. Other business, textile business having loss of 1,35,000. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just putting the question wherever it requires to need. Income from house property loss has been given 15,000. Salary income computed has been given 2,70,000. There is long-term capital gain under section 112. Profit has been given 70,000. There is no short-term income has been given. There is a lottery income, that is casual income, has been given in question is 5 lakh rupees. So that's the whole information which has been given in question. Let me see if I skipped anything. Speculation business, house property, lottery winning, speculation business, income with salary. Okay, everything has been done. So now we can apply the provision of intra-head source. First of all, we have to apply the provision of intra-head source adjustment. So we can see if we'll go for intra-head adjustment, then other business losses can be set off from speculative business. Speculative losses cannot be set off, but other business loss can be set off. So after the set off, we will have 35,000 over here. House property losses cannot be carried forward to any other head. So this need to be carried forward in the subsequent year. We do not have any loss in salary head. We do not have any loss in long term. We do not have any other source. So now after intra head, the loss remaining is 35,000. Now we will go for inter head. So can the loss of 35,000 of PGBP can be set off from salary head? No. PGBP losses cannot be set off from salary head, but PGBP losses can be set off from long-term capital gain income. So the remaining income will be 35,000 after setting off the losses from PGBP to long-term capital gain. So now this will be my GTI or TI. So the remaining GTI TI will be like this. For the purpose of tax calculation, I will frame 5 heads of income. As we have discussed in capital gain scenario, casual income 5 lakh rupees. There is no 112A given. There is no 111A. There is 112 long-term capital gain, which is remaining now 35,000. And we have other income, which is salary. This is going to be carried forward. Salary is 2,70,000. The provisions say apply 15 BAC. So 15 BAC is having 3 lakh rupees basic exemption limit. So out of this 3 lakh, 270 will be exhaust over here. Balance 30,000 can be carried forward to long-term capital gain. Yes, so balance is 5,000. Now this is going to be taxable at 20% rate. That means 1,000 tax. And this is going to be taxable at 30% rate. That is 1,50,000. So total tax will be 1,51,000. 4% cess 6040. So tax liability will be 157040. No rebate will be allowed because it's total income exceeding 7 lakh. This 5 lakh, this 35,000 and 270. So because the TI exceeding 7 lakhs, so we cannot claim the rebate also on a section on type BAC in this question. So that's the way we can solve any provision if there is losses has been given. Kindly make the format I have prescribed, and after applying the intra-head and inter-head, whatever has been there, that will be my total income. And for the purpose of tax calculation, you have to divide that total income into the other format which has been prescribed over here also, or we have discussed in capital gain scenario also. Clear? This is question number 9 we have solved. Question number 10. Before question number 10, there is a solution part we need to discuss. There is Mr. Rajiv, age 50 years, a resident individual and a practicing chartered accountant, furnishing you the receipt and payment account for the financial year 23-24. The receipt and payment has been over here. Okay, so solve this. Because the receipt and payment has been given, so now we will consider only those income which is his business income, and those receipt that is considered as a business receipt and the expenditure of business will be considered. Because it's not income and expenditure, so we cannot take the surplus and add or deduct the value out of it. The receipt and payment has been given, so we will consider only those receipt which will be regarded as his incomes under PGBP, and those expenses which will be regarded as his business expenditure under PGBP for his profession. Fine. So one by one, we need to solve it. Fees from professional service. Yes, we will take it as a business income. Rent would not be taken. Motor car loan, of course, not an income. So from the income part only, we have this value 59,38,000. For expenditure part, yes, this is expenditure part. Other administrative, yes. Office rent, yes. Housing loan repaid to SBI include interest of 88,000. So interest part will go to income from house property. And the remaining 1 lakh out of 188, 88 is interest. So 1 lakh is the principal amount that will go to section 80C. Okay. Life insurance premium 80C. Motor car acquired, we will claim the depreciation of it. Medical insurance premium for self and account paycheck, that is 80D. Books, depreciation we will claim on books, annual publication. Computer, we will calculate the depreciation in this case. Domestic drawing, not allowed, not need to consider. Provident fund subscription 80C. Motor car maintenance, yes, is an expenditure. He occupied 50% of the building for own residence and let out the balance for residential use at a monthly rent of 5,000. And the loan was taken in the construction has been done in 97-98. That means loan is before 1/4/1999. So when we talk about the interest part of this loan, so maximum interest can be claimed only up to 30,000, not 2 lakh rupees, because in income from house property, we have discussed that if the loan has been taken before 1/4/1999, in case of self-occupied property, then the interest can be maximum allowed up to 30,000. Now, if somebody will ask me, sir, it is not given when loan has taken. So the construction has been completed in 97-98. Automatically, that means the loan has been taken before 97-98. That's why we are saying that loan has been taken before 1/4/99 case. Motor car has been used for both official and personal. 1/5 of the motor car is for personal. So we will take in only 4/5 for business purpose. 1/5 will not be taken. Okay. The WD value has been given for the purpose of depreciation. Compute the total income, Mr. Rajiv, for assuming that he shifted opt out of the regime. Clear? So now let's start this question. You can also mark your question the way I just did it, like ATC deduction income from house property. So you will be able to solve the question and you need not going to miss any provision. So if you are not considering house property interest in PGBP, so you might miss it while calculating income from house property. But if you'll mark in your question that this is related to my ATC deduction, this is my income from other source part, this is my income from house property. So I believe that you will not miss that solution part. Okay. So question number 10 we are discussing. That is income was 5,938,000. Staff salary is a part of expenditure, of course. It's 2 lakh 15, 21 lakh 50,000. Then other expenditure, office rent 30,000. Motor car depreciation, that will 4/5 part. 4 by 5, that is car value was 4 lakh 25,000. Depreciation is 7.5% because less than 180, and 4 by 5th of this value will be considered as my depreciation for business purpose. 25,500. Then books depreciation rate is 40%. That will come 8,000. Computer depreciation rate is 40%, but again less than 180. So we will take 20% of the value, that will come 6,000. Motor car maintenance expenditure was 10,000, but we will take only 4 by 5 because that is for official use or business purpose, 8,000. Depreciation on furniture, 10% value, 6,000. Plant and machinery, 15%, 12,000. Computer, 40%, 20,000. So that will be our PGBP 2524500. Then income from house property, there is two part of the property. One is let out and one is self-occupied. So for the purpose of self-occupied, the interest was paid was 88,000. So 1 by 2 part is self-occupied. So annual value will be nil and 44,000 interest we can claim. But because the loan has been taken before 1499, so we cannot claim more than 30,000. So loss from income from house property will be 30,000. Then let out part has been let out for 5,000 rupees per month. So its GAV will be 60,000. No municipal tax. So that means that is the annual value, 30%, 18,000. In case of let out property, there is no restriction on interest part. So we can claim full value of 44,000. That will come 2,000 rupees loss. So now my house property loss is 32,000 and my income is 25 lakh 24,000. So after setting off, house property loss can be set off from PGBP income. The GTI will be 2492500. Now deduction part comes ATC premium. We have paid 1 lakh rupees. Sorry, not premium. It's principal amount of housing loan. Out of 1,88,000 repayment of housing loan, 88,000 was interest. So that covers under section 24 under income from house property. The remaining 1 lakh can be claimed as ATC deduction. Then PPF payment, that is my ATC deduction again, 20,000. Then life insurance premium is 24,000 and 80D medical insurance premium is 18,000. So after that, the remaining will be my total income. That is 2330500 something. Okay. So that is the solution part. Normal provision, you just need to know the PGBP concept of allowing or disallowing. That will enough to solve these kind of questions. 11th question I'm skipping for the now because it's very simple. The basic salary provision and house property provisions are there. If we will have time, then I will going to solve it also. 12 also I will take after the question number 13, 14 and 15. So 14 and 15 is very important. So I need to discuss these questions before we end our session. And if we have left time, then we will discuss the remaining questions also. So question number 14. Rosie and Mary are sisters. It's a very important question. It looks easy. When we will discuss this question, you might feel that it is easy question, but I believe that most of students are going to solve this question wrong due to some very special provision, isn't it? So Rosie and Mary are sisters, born and brought up at Mumbai. Rosie got married in 1982 and settled in Canada since 1982. Mary got married and settled in Mumbai. Both of them are below 60 years. Following are the details. So technically Rosie is non-resident and Mary is resident. Okay. Now the question is asking compute the total income and tax liability of Mrs. Rosie and Mrs. Mary for the assessment year 24-25 and tax thereon, assuming both exercise the option to shift out of the default tax region. So we have to solve it as per normal provision. Now, because she is a non-resident, so only those income are going to taxable. In the case of Rosie, those are arise, deemed to earn, arise in India. That means arise or deemed to arise. Or received or deemed to receive. So only these income are going to be taxable for Rosie and for the purpose of Mary because she is a resident and ordinary resident because always in India. So every kind of income of previous year going to taxable for her. So for Rosie, we will only taxable those income which is arise or deemed to arise in India or received or deemed to received in India. But for the purpose of Mary, we are going to taxable all the incomes. So pension received from state government 60,000 received by Mary, that is going to be taxable. She can claim the deduction of 50,000 standard deduction. So 10,000 is going to be taxable because pension is a part of your salary income. Clear? Now pension received from Canadian government to Rosie. That means it does not receive from the our government, not arise in India, not received in India has been given. So that is exempted, not going to be taxable in India. Now, long-term capital gain on sale of land at Mumbai, that is going to be taxable for Rosie and as well as for Mary. Short-term capital gain on sale of shares of an Indian listed company in respect of which STT has been paid. Because if Indian company, then it's going to be treated as arise in India. So this is also going to be taxable for both. LIC premium paid, so she can claim the reduction of section 8TC. Premium paid for life insurance corporation at Canada, she can also claim reduction of under section 8TC. Mediclaim policy premium paid by account paycheck 80D. Deposit in PPF 80C. Rent received in case of house property at Mumbai because the property at Mumbai taxable for both, but this is a rent receipt, technically kind of GAV or AV. So we cannot taxable the full value. We will taxable only the 70% part of it out after deducting 30%. So technically for her, this is going to be taxable 42,000. And for her, that is going to be taxable at 21,000. So yeah, now you might be thinking, what is the difficult in this question? Where you can going to do the mistake in this question. So let me show you where we are going to do the mistake. So I have shown you what is going to be taxable, what is not going to be taxable. So that is Rosie, that is Mary. So pension. See what kind of mistake we do in the question. 10,000 is going to be taxable for Mary after deducting 50,000. Then we were taxable long-term capital gain 1 lakh and 1 lakh. Then short-term capital gain, that is 20,000, and this is 2,50,000. Then rent value, income from house property, that is 42,000, and this is 21,000. So the total, that is technically the GTI in both cases, is 1,62,000, and this is 3,81,000. 250, 350, 60, 70, 81. Clear. Now, deduction part, what we are discussing, 80C, 40,000 for her. For her, 80C is 10,000. Then 25,000. Then 20,000. That was different kind of deduction. Let me 80C 40. This is 80C for LIC 10,000. Then 80D. Then again 80C PPA. Now, if you will solve this question, the TI in this case will be 1,22,000. And in this case, if you solve it like this, the TI will come 3,26,000. But this is the wrong answer. In case of Mary, this answer is not correct. This is wrong. So can you tell me what is the mistake in this solution? Why this is wrong? Why I am saying this 3,26,000 is not the correct answer in this case? Why? Can anyone find it out? This is correct answer. But in case of Mary, this is incorrect. Why? Think about it and tell me. 80 is that is interest on housing loan, sir. Thoti Jagapati. No, 80 is for interest in case of higher education loan. Clear? 80 double E A is for interest on housing loan. Okay. No, rebate is for tax calculation. We are not calculating tax because the question did not ask for tax calculation. So I am just asking you what is the wrong, what is incorrect in the solution of total income of Mary. She is eligible to take deduction of 80C. Yes, that's the correct deduction. 80 days also is correct. 80C 20,000 is also correct. So what is the incorrect thing? What we are doing wrong in Mary solution? The total income cannot be 3,26,000. Why it is wrong? Madhav Tiwari is saying May has take rebate, but no, not Rosie. Mary has take rebate. No, we are not talking about the tax calculation, Madhav. We are saying that till this total income solution, the Mary total income is not correct. Why? What technically we did wrong in that? It cannot be 3,26,000. No, it won't. This is something else. Special rate apply. Vaishali is saying LTCG and STCG may special rate applying. We are not talking about the calculation of tax. The question does not ask for calculation of tax. I am asking about what is the mistake in total income calculation of Mary. Why are you answering about the rate of taxes? We are not asking about the rate of tax. That's why I'm saying this is the most simple question and out of all these 15 questions what we are going to discuss. But let me tell you, out of 10, almost 8 or 9 students are going to solve this question wrong. This is the beauty of this simple question. And what I am going to tell you that will actually going to save a lot of marks in an examination. Then you will realize, okay, this is the mistake what we can do in examination. So this is why, that's why we are taking classes, we are solving all the question, because if this kind of question comes in the examination and even you learn each and every provision of the income tax act, you might going to solve it wrong, even when this is the simplest question. You can see how our institute is so intelligent to frame question to just check whether you are applying the provision correctly or not. Okay, Miss Sanja Ben Chauhan is saying pension 30,000 maybe 60,000 to 12. No, no, that is wrong. Okay, because of deduction chapter 6A. Now you're talking correct. I have told you that whenever you are going to calculate the total income, always remember this concept. This is my GTI. This is my GTI. And from GTI, when you go to TI, there is a thing which is called deduction between this. For giving the deduction, always apply that chart when we talk about the deduction part to calculate tax. That means you have to divide this income in 5 parts. Rent will form the part over here, 42,000. Clear? Your short-term capital gain, that was 111A, I guess. The short-term capital gain on shares, correct. So the short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain over here, which is in her case is 1 lakh. And short-term 111A, that is 20,000. So when we talk about deductions, I have told you deduction will be allowed from only this part. Short-term and long-term special rate cannot claim the deduction. So when the 80C deduction apply in the case of Rosie, so we applied this 40,000 from here. So remaining will be 2,000. So now if you calculate the full value of all these, that will come 1,22,000. And because this other income is higher than the deductions, so your answer will come 122,000 automatically, what is correct, but not in this case. Now you will see in this case what is exactly happening. Long term is 1 lakh rupees. Short term is 2,50,000 rupees. And other income which is eligible for deduction is only 31,000 rupees. So this 3,80,000 comprise these three income. Now deduction can be claimed only from other income part. And now we have deduction of 55,000 eligible. 10, 25 and 20. We have 55,000. So when we are reducing this deduction like this in this vertical order, so we are technically reducing full 55 lakh out of this, but that is not correct because deduction can be claimed only out of this income. So that is only 31,000 we can claim maximum. Remaining 24,000 is waste. We cannot claim this deduction balance 24,000 out of this 31. We cannot claim from this value. That is not allowed. So when we deduct the vertical deduction, we deduct the full 55,000 out of this 381. So it will come 326, but that is not correct. The correct answer will be now deduction cannot be claimed. So total income will be 3,50,000. So if you deduct these 55,000 out of this 381, your answer will be incorrect even when you know all the provisions of income tax act because you just forgot that these deduction can only be claimed from this part. But when we deduct the deduction in vertical order, we deduct the full deduction out of this value also and this also. So correct answer was 3,50,000, not 3,26,000. So please, it's a request from my side. Don't do these kind of mistakes in examination. Please, whenever there is a GTI, an examiner asks you to calculate the TI, then please follow this format, divide your GTI in the same format in which we need to calculate the tax. Then you will never do this kind of mistake because you automatically deduct the deduction from the other part and it cannot exceed the other income. So you'll never do mistake in this. So please, it's a request, kindly follow what I just taught you regarding the deduction questions. Okay. So now moving on to question number 15 first, because we having the MAT provision in this also. So you will understand how to apply MAT and 15 BAC etc. together in a single question. We have MAT provision, we have 35 AD, we have section 10 AA concept also in this a single question. It's a very beautiful, that's a very good question. So Mr. X and individuals set up a unit in special economic zone in the financial year 1920. Why year is important for section 10 AA? Because for first 5 years, we can claim 100%. So we are talking about assessment year 24-25. That means financial year 23-24. So if we started in 1920, so 20, 21, 23, 24, 25. So we are still running in starting 5-year case. So 10 double reduction will be 100% in this case. If I have written over here financial year 16-17, then we are in after 5-year scenario in our current previous year. So deduction part can be 50% in place of 100%. So that is year is very important to see. Production of washing machine. Okay, the unit fulfill all the condition of section 10 AA income tax act. Very good. During the financial year 20-23, he has also set up a warehousing facility which is eligible for reduction section 35 AD. In the district of Tamil Nadu for storage of agricultural produce, it fulfill all the section 35 AD condition. Capital expenditure in respect of warehouse amounted to 75 lakh, including cost of land. So land cannot be claimed as deduction. So 65 lakh will be my deduction for the purpose of section 35 AD. Clear? Only 3 assets cannot be claimed as deduction. That is land, goodwill, or financial instrument. The warehouse become operational with effect from 23 and expenditure of 75 lakh has been capitalized in the books of account. Very good. Now the information has been given. Profit of unit located in a special economic zone, 10 AA business profit, export turnover, domestic turnover. So total turnover will be export plus domestic. That means 100. 40 lakh is the profit. Total turnover is 100. Okay. Profit from warehousing business is 1 crore 5 lakh rupees. Now they ask you to compute income tax including AMT and 15 JC. That means credit also you need to calculate. Mr. X assessment year 24-25 as per 15 BAC as per regular provision of income tax. Advise what he should choose, default tax regime or normal provision. Clear? So I will show you how to solve this kind of question. So now we have AMT. I have already told you when there is AMT applicable and we have to calculate the tax liability. So I have shown you the format in the last class. Calculate tax as per section 115 BAC first, then as per normal provision. As per normal provision, we have to apply optional tax scheme and AMT tax. Whichever is higher, we need to compare this tax with this higher, and whichever is lower will be your tax liability. So we have to calculate 115 BAC tax, then we have to calculate normal tax, etc. Then we'll find out our tax liability. So let's solve it. First of all, as per 115 BAC provision, we have to calculate the tax first. And you might remember 15 BAC does not give deduction to section 35 AD or 10 AA, that is not applicable. So as per section 15 BAC, first of all, special economic zone profit that is given in question is 40 lakh rupees. 10 AA deduction not allowed. Now section 35 AD business profit that is given 1 crore 5 lakh. 35 AD deduction we cannot claim, but we can claim the depreciation on that expenditure. So 65 lakh rupees deduction cannot be claimed, but we can claim depreciation on it. That means 6 lakh 50,000. So technically we have profit from this business, that is 98 lakh and 50,000. Total income, or we can say GTI, because there is no deduction. So this is GTI and this is also TI also in this case. That is 1385000. Clear? Now the tax on this, if we will calculate as per 115 BAC, that will come 3855000 plus surcharge, that will be 15%, because from till 1 crore it's 10%, from 1 crore up to 2 crore it's 15%, so that will come 15% is 578250. So our tax will be 4433250 plus 4% cess, that will be 177330. Total tax will be 4610580. So this is tax as per 115 BAC. Now we will solve it as per the normal provision. For the purpose of normal provision, we have to solve it AMT tax also and a normal tax also. So optional tax regime and AMT. Clear? So first of all, optional tax regime, normal profit has been given. Normal business, 10AA business, that is 40 lakh. And now we will calculate section 10AA deduction. The formula is PGBP, profit of the unit, into ET upon TT. And you will claim 100% of this because we are starting 5th year case applicable. So 100% into what is the profit that has been given in question, 40 lakh, into ET, export turnover in this case is 80 and total turnover is 100. So that means 32 lakh is going to be section 10AA deduction in this scenario. So my net profit from 10AA business will remain now 8 lakh rupees. Now section 35 AD business, the profit has been given 1 crore 5 lakh. Out of which 35 AD deduction of the capital expenditure we can claim, that is 65 lakh. So my business profit from 35 AD will be 40 lakh. That is my GTI, and because there is no extra deduction, so that will remain my total income also, and it is like 48 lakh rupees. Now the tax as per normal rate structure on this income will 1252500. No surcharge because income is less than 50 lakhs, so we will apply 4% cess upon it. That will be 50100. So total tax will be 1302600. Now for the purpose of AMT, we will take the TI as per Income Tax Act, which is this value. The format to calculate AMT says TI as per Income Tax Act, you need to take it. Then add back section 10AA deduction, that is 32 lakh. Then add back section 35 AD deduction, which in this case is 65 lakh. But you can claim the depreciation on section 35 AD deduction, what you have already add back. So that will be deducted 6,50,000. And you will see the adjusted TTI, adjusted GTI, ATI, sorry, adjusted total income will be, ATI will be same exactly as 115 BAC, because in this example, both does not allow the same deduction. That will remain 1 crore 38 lakh 50,000. Now the tax, AMT tax rate will be 18.5% straightforward. So that will come 2562250. Then surcharge 15%, and on that cess. So if you will apply surcharge and the total upon that cess, that will come final value 3064451. If you'll round off to the multiple of rupees, 3064450. Now this is my AMT tax. Now we have all three taxes there. Now what will be the final tax liability? So I have told you 115 BAC tax, that is 4610580. Then as per normal provision, higher of these two tax, normal and AMT. So the higher tax is 3064450. That is AMT one. Clear? Now whichever is lower. So the tax liability will be 3064450. This is my tax liability, and that is my total income. What will be the total income? Will be my ATI will be treated as my total income. That was 13850,000. What is AMT credit? The difference of normal tax and the AMT tax will be the AMT credit. So AMT tax was 3064450, and normal tax was 1302600. So this will be my AMT credit 1761850. That was question number 15. The question we skip, like 2 or 3 questions we skip, kindly go through it. Normal provisions are there, of course. Normal provision in optional tax regime, how it's calculated, 35 AD. 75 lakh has been given, Madhav. Out of this, 10 lakh related to land. Land cannot be claimed as a deduction for 35 AD business. So we reduce it from that, and 65 lakh rupees remaining. That is our deduction under section 35 AD. Okay. So we have done all the question except the 2 questions we left. You can try it yourself if there's any issue. So I will send the solution also, and it has been given in study material also. So please study very hard. And my request to all of you, as I always say, revise twice. That's my advice to make you wise. That will really help if you will follow that thing. Try to complete your provision. Try to complete your revisions. So that will be the only path to be a successful or to clear your examination. So all the best to everyone. But before ending the class, as I've told you, there's a short 3-line poem for all of you. And that will encourage you, because that encouraged me when I was studying. I actually made this poem myself. It has been not been taken from anywhere else. So that's my personal thinking about the journey of being a chartered accountant. And I, in every last lecture of my session, I used to tell this poem to all the students who's in front of me. So it's a poem like this, and after that we will close the session. It says in Hindi, of course it is. So when you feel depressed, when you feel uncertain about your future, when you feel that life is really hard, or this course is really hard, and when the study will be finished, you are studying from last 20 years, like from nursery till now, for 20, 21 years you are studying, and still it's going on. So regarding this journey, is a very simple poem for all of you for 4 lines, and it says, इस दिल की धड़कन कहती है उम्मीद अभी भी बाकी है. इस दिल की धड़कन कहती है उम्मीद अभी भी बाकी है, ये रात कभी तो गुजरेगी, वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी. एक दिन ऐसा भी आएगा, एग्जाम का टेंशन उड़ जाएगा. एक दिन ऐसा भी आएगा, एग्जाम का टेंशन उड़ जाएगा, और एक दिन ऐसा ही आएगा, मेरे नाम में सीए जुड़ जाएगा. सो प्लीज बिलीव इन दीज लाइन्स, बिलीव इन योर सेल्फ, कीप स्टडी, keep your hard work continue, sacrifice your Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, party, etc. for some time, and there will be a future what you always dreamed about. Your all dreams will definitely come true one day. So all the best to all of you, and I hope one day we will see each other live if possible. So till that, all the very best and good luck for your future. Thank you so much everyone. So Manish ji, can we close the session?